Your next topic, you have importance of entrepreneurs. Again, it is a repetition of your previous topics. Wherever explanation is required, I will explain it to you all. And if it is again repetitive, I will not be wasting your time when you have to sit and watch lengthy videos. I will just brushing up a few topics. Okay, now importance of an entrepreneur. Under importance of entrepreneur, firstly, importance of entrepreneur as innovator, continuously innovating and finding out new opportunities. Okay, we've already discussed this. Then generation of employment opportunities, role in economic growth, that is employment generation, capital formation, per capita income, improve in physical quality of life of individuals by providing them employment opportunities and giving them salaries so that their standard of living also increases. Then growth in infrastructural facilities, that is by building roads, bridges, factories, etc. You are creating economic growth and contributing towards the GDP and the per capita income of the economy. Okay, then you have balanced regional development. That is balance between public sector and private sector, so that you have regional development for your particular organizational capability and ability, and also you are making sure that you're concentrating on a particular sector and you're providing employment opportunities to those particular people of those particular regions. Okay, next you have economic independence, backward and forward linkages. We've already discussed these topics in your previous we've already discussed these points in your previous topics. So there's next you have on importance of entrepreneur in bringing social stability, that is absorption of workforce in industries, elevation of poverty by creating employment opportunities and creating a large number of jobs. Okay, glorification of self-help. Okay, that is being self-independent and being by being self-independent and continuously motivating through self. Then checking expansion of monopolistic market, how whether you can survive in a monopolistic market or you want to, what kind of market is going on in the economy. Next is equal distribution of income, creation of social infrastructure, empowerment of women through enterprise, that is you want to employ women and create equal opportunities for men and women in the enterprise. Supply of qualitative goods and services. So these were your importance. Next is you have a functions of an entrepreneur. Functions of an entrepreneur, firstly risk bearing function, that he should be in a risk taker and he should not be scared of taking any risk, and he should be able to overcome all the challenges and threats of the particular organization. Next, after which you have your organizational function. Organizational function is basically entrepreneur must be a very good organizer when he is doing a proper planning and organizing function as to how he wants to go about his setting up of the entire business and provide for employment opportunities. That is through the organizational function. Next, you have your innovative function, how effectively he can continuously innovate. See, according to Peter Drucker, innovation is the profitable opportunity. Okay, innovation is the means by which entrepreneur either creates new wealth, producing resources, or endows existing resources for creating wealth. Innovation is something wherein you can create opportunities using this existing resource, okay, or you can come up with a new product or service using the particular resources. That is innovation. Next, you have managerial function. Managerial function is basically you have a various managerial function like achieving of objective, that is formulation of policies, procedures, your market research, your organization. By now you would know what is a managerial function, how effectively he needs to take decisions and manage his particular organizational business. Next, you have your decision making function. Decision making function is entrepreneur must be a decision maker. He should know as to how he needs to take decisions for his particular business. Okay, what objectives are suitable for his business, how he can create an atmosphere for maintaining good relationships in the organization. Okay, how he can generate employment opportunities, how he can bring in finance for his business, okay, how he can use modern technology, how he can develop a market for his product, and how he can maintain good relation with the public authority as well as the society at large. So these were the functions of entrepreneur. These are the various functions. Okay, these are very general functions. You do not have to go in depth and study all of this. Just know what is the function and just know the meaning in your own words as to what you want to write in the particular topic. Next, you have your classification of entrepreneur. The classification of entrepreneur first is according to the type of business. See, you have your classification chart here. Okay, this is a classification chart which is very important. You have your type of business, you have your use of technology. Okay, entrepreneurs are classified on these bases, that is type of business, use of technology, motivation, growth, stages of development, and other types, which are further subdivided into the following points. Okay, now according to the type of business, you have business entrepreneur. Business entrepreneurs are basically those people who have an idea, who have a new idea for a particular product and service, and they want to set up their own business, whether it is a small business or a large business. Okay, after which you have your industrial entrepreneur. Industrial entrepreneur is basically the kind of manufacturer. Okay, industrial entrepreneur will be a manufacturer who will identify the potential needs of the customer and tailors the product or service. Okay, tailors in the sense he will customize the product or service, okay, according to the needs of the market. Example, electronic industry, textile units, machine tools, etc. Suppose you want a kind of tiles for your home, right? Suppose you want black tiles only, so this kind of people will make sure that that kind of particular product is only available for you all. That is industrial entrepreneur. Then next one is you have your trading entrepreneur. Trading entrepreneur is basically that kind of person who undertakes only trading activities. Okay, he will not go into manufacturing work. Okay, he is only into trading. Okay, and he will stimulate demand for the product, and he will create market for her product in the particular market. Next, you have your corporate entrepreneur. Corporate entrepreneur is the one who demonstrates his innovative skills in organizing, managing a corporate undertaking. It is a form of business organization which is registered by in under a particular act. Suppose it is a companies act or anything as such. He is a corporate entrepreneur wherein he wants to own a particular business. He wants to set up a particular corporate company, like you have your MNC company or something as that. You have your corporate company. Okay, he is known as a corporate entrepreneur. Next, you have your agricultural entrepreneur. Agricultural entrepreneur is basically he's into agricultural activities, like it could be crops, fertilizers, okay, it could be inputs of agriculture, etc. Next, you have your according to the use of technology. You have your technical entrepreneur and your non-technical entrepreneur. Technical entrepreneur is basically the kind of person who's a craftsman type. Okay, he develops new and improved quality of product because of his craftsmanship, and he concentrates more on the production, and he uses continuous technology. He's continuously updated with the changing technology, etc. Now, non-technical entrepreneur is basically those who do not take into consideration lots of technical aspects. Example, you have your agarbatti company. Okay, example, you have your agarbatti manufacturing. Okay, you have your various examples, you have your handicrafts, etc. These do not take, they have complete hard work, they do not use the technology, etc. Okay, next you have it on the basis of motivation. On the basis of motivation, you have a pure entrepreneur. Okay, pure entrepreneur, basically he is continuously someone who is continuously motivated by psychological and economic rewards, and he works for his own satisfaction, ego or status. Next, you have induced entrepreneur. Induced entrepreneur is basically that kind of person whose task is to policy measures the government and provides assistance. Okay, he is working for he's taking up tasks and he's working for the government. He's providing incentives, concessions, etc. Next, you have your motivated entrepreneur. Motivated entrepreneur is basically for his he is motivating and he is satisfying his fulfillment desires. Okay, next you have your spontaneous entrepreneur. Okay, after which you have your spontaneous entrepreneur. Spontaneous entrepreneur is basically, again, he has a lot of motivation, he has a lot of confidence, and he wants to continuously innovate. Okay, he wants to continuously innovate, and he wants to explore his natural talents. Okay, he wants to explore his natural talents. Next, you have according to growth. According to growth is basically growth entrepreneur. Growth entrepreneur is basically that particular person who has growth in the industry. Okay, sustained growth. Then you have super growth entrepreneur. Okay, super growth also based on the performance and their ventures. They are growing in the particular fields. Okay. Next, you have according to the various stages of development. You have your first generation entrepreneur. You have your first generation. Just a minute, girls, it is a little causing problem. Okay, first generation entrepreneur. First generation is basically he who starts industrial unit by means of innovative skills. Okay, innovator combining different technologies to produce a marketable product or service. Then you have your modern entrepreneur who's willing to take risk, and he's creating demand in the product or in the particular market. Next, you have classical entrepreneur. Classical entrepreneur is basically concerned with customers and their needs and their developments, etc. Then you have the other types. Okay, other types is innovative. Innovative, again, as we've all been seeing, that he is continuously willing to innovate and come up with a new product or service. Okay, adoptive or imitative. Adoptive or imitative is, for example, you have iPhone. Okay, you have iPhone and you also have Vivo. Okay, you also have Vivo. Okay, iPhone and Vivo, you will see a product which is very similar to iPhone, but it will not be iPhone, but the design will be copied. So that is imitative. They want to imitate the other person's product, and they want to make it available to the people at a lesser price. Then you have your Fabian entrepreneur. Fabian entrepreneur is basically, they're very cautious and doubtful of adopting any sort of changes, because they do not have so much of risk taking skills, and they try to just follow the footsteps of the previous entrepreneurs or the previous generation, just like how an imitative entrepreneur is there, he is just imitating, right? Fabian entrepreneur is almost one and the same. Then you have your drone entrepreneurs. Drone entrepreneurs are basically, all these are meanings are very important. You could be asked for your short answers. Okay, drone entrepreneur is basically those kind of entrepreneurs wherein they are refusing to adopt, okay, and use any opportunities to make any changes in the production, even if they are suffering any sorts of losses. Then entrepreneur by inheritance. Entrepreneur by inheritance, for example, Hindu business family. Okay, example, Hindu business family. Okay, I think you've read this concept, right? Hindu business family. Okay, Hindu business, joint Hindu business, or it could be a business of your own family wherein you are getting it with inheritance. Suppose after your father or someone, you are supposed to take care of that particular business, so it is coming by inheritance from your ancestors. Okay, after which you have your individual or institutional entrepreneur. Individual or institutional entrepreneur is basically, they have the flexibility to take up necessary decisions, and they are individual. They do not depend on anyone as a whole. Okay, after which you have your qualities of entrepreneur. Again, it is the same. Okay, it is initiative. They are continuously initiating and coming up new opportunities, willingness to assume risk, ability to learn from experience, motivation, self-confidence, orientation towards hard work, decision-making ability. These are again successful qualities of the entrepreneur. Then you have pros and cons of being an entrepreneur. Pros and cons of being an entrepreneur is again originality. Okay, pros, these are advantages and disadvantages. Okay, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, you have your practicality, you have your opportunity. These are some points that you need to know, and you can form sentences by yourself based on the topics that you are studying. Okay, this is originality, practicality, opportunity, applicability, gain experience, choice of business, self-satisfaction, and social objective. These are the advantages of being an entrepreneur. Whereas the disadvantage of being an entrepreneur is entrepreneur's confrontation with risk. What kind of risk it could be? It could be financial risk. It could be the risk of his career. See, he is not taking a particular job in an MNC because he wants to be an entrepreneur and start up his own particular business. But suppose what happens if this business fails? Then it is a risk to his career, right? Then next you have family and social risk, psychological risk. Okay, then now what is psychological risk? Some people, what they do is, this is very important point, some people what they do is basically, you could have your own house or jewelry or property. Now suppose if you want to start up something and you do not have enough capital or resources, what you do is basically you tend to sell this property, land, jewelry, etc., and you start your own business. But what if this particular business does not succeed? Then it is a loss everywhere, right? You've lost your property, you've lost your jewelry, you've lost your car, everything, and you also, your business has failed drastically. So that is a psychological risk. Then you have your high levels of stress. Okay, stress is one of the most because you have the stress whether the particular business is going to work or not. Then you have uncertainty of income, complete responsibility, discouragement, and cost benefit analysis. These are the disadvantages of entrepreneur. Then next was you basically have what is intrapreneur. Intrapreneur is again a concept just very similar to entrepreneur, and this is coming largely into force by the people in the organization. Intrapreneur is someone who is dependent on the entrepreneur, that is the owner. Okay, and he basically is a person whose funds are raised by the okay, intrapreneurs, they emerge from within the confines of the existing enterprise. Basically, these are people who are working in the same enterprise. Okay, now next you have the difference between entrepreneur and intrapreneur, and you have your difference between an entrepreneur and manager. This I would want you all to read through and understand. Okay, I would want you all to study this particular topics, because I will just have to read through and there is no sort of explanation, because the difference consists of dependency, raising funds, risk operation, and you've also known these particular points. This is very important topic, and just please do go through these particular topics. Now next topic is your women entrepreneur. Very, very, very important topic. Okay, so women entrepreneur, what is a women entrepreneur? Women entrepreneur is basically defined as a woman or group of women who initiate to organize and run a particular business. It could be your papad business, it could be your agarbatti manufacturing, it could be anything, it could be your flower jewelry making or anything as such. When a group of women or individual women or a one woman is coming up and starting their own particular business, right, their factors are also very similar to the normal entrepreneurial factors. Then again they have various functions. Okay, these are the functions, that is they have innovation, risk bearing, organizing. Okay, now again they have the similar functions just like the normal entrepreneur. Now you have various factors which are influencing. You have your motivational factors, that is economic necessity, economic independence, self-actualization. Okay, then you have various establishing their own creativity, establishing their own identity, equal status, achievement of excellence. Okay, then you have education and qualification, building self-confidence, developing risk. Okay, all of this we've already studied. These are the factors, that is motivating factors. And you have your facilitating factors again, which are affecting the women entrepreneurs, that is facilitating, that is adequate financial facilities, innovative thinking, self-satisfaction, cooperation of family, network of contacts, experience and skill people at work, support and family members. Next, you have your qualities of women entrepreneurs. Qualities of women entrepreneurs is you have your positive attitude. Okay, positive attitude is very important, and it is and basically positive attitude will help you in taking various steps, and it will help you in deliberating achieving success, right? Next, you need to have a vision. If you are a woman entrepreneur, what kind of goal you want to set up and what kind of objective you have in mind in order to achieve the success. Next is autonomy. Autonomy is independence. Autonomy is basically independence. That is, you need to have that confidence of making decisions on your own and taking necessary risk for yourself. Okay. Then you have your intuitive. Intuitive is nothing but wherein you have necessary skills in order to manage a particular business. Then you have distinctive. Distinctive is nothing but you should be distinctive. You should not be same like other people. You should have certain qualities which is distinguishing you from one person to another person. Planner, again, you should have proper planning for your particular business, how you're setting up and how you're strategizing your business, everything. Okay, then you have a risk taker. Your women entrepreneur should also know how to take risk. They should not simply jump into decision. They should take appropriate decisions and see what kind of risk is involved in that particular decision and whether they will be able to handle that risk or not. Okay, then you have your drive. Drive is nothing but it is how you are going to be focused on your particular business and how you're going to achieve success for that particular business. These are the qualities of the women entrepreneur. Then again you have your various problems of that is a problem to access of finance. Okay, then you have limited mobility. Limited mobility is basically men can travel from one place to another without any restrictions, but women will have to look into consideration a lot of aspects, and then it will become very difficult for women traveling from one place to another for various reasons. Okay, family ties. Family ties is basically women will have to manage their children, their various other people who are living with that particular family. They have to cook for them. They have to take care of the particular thing, members of the family. So it again, family ties is also one of the problems which is faced. Okay, then male dominated society. Male dominated society because they wouldn't want the women to work forward and achieve success. Example, you have Biocon as a company. Okay, wherein the male dominated society which will not want the women entrepreneurs to go on the top and achieve success. So this is another form of problem which is faced. Okay, again your family conflict, just like your family ties. Then you have your role conflict. Women might not be given equal importance and a lot of importance. Then again you will come up with a lot of role conflicts in your organization. Then lack of education. Not all women are educated, and they will have a lot of problems which are facing because of social and economic backwardness. Discrimination in upbringing, that is the girl and the male child. Then low need of achievement. Low need of achievement is basically they will not have that craving for in order to achieve success and maximize their profit. Then low risk bearing ability. Basically low risk bearing ability is basically they will not have so much of courage to bear a lot of risk, unlike the men. Okay, you have your other problems also here. You can also refer to these particular problems if you want to add in a few more. Then you have remedial measures for the problems of women entrepreneurs. You have vocational education. You can train each each and every individual. You can give education to the women. You can teach them computer science, management. Okay, you can help them in specializing in various fields. Then entrepreneurial motivation at school level. When they are in school, then continuously motivate them as to how they want to become entrepreneurs and how they have to generate various skills and capabilities. Access to information, grant them proper access to information, that is through NGOs and universities. Okay, all of these associations will come up taking up responsibilities by providing information to women. Then separate publications. Separate publications is basically women entrepreneurs who are willing to come up as women entrepreneurs. Then they have to be offered with various benefits and etc. from the various public policies. You should have proper access to technology. Simple formality is nothing but your policies, procedures, your rules and regulations should be very simple for the women. Okay, this has to be set in a very good manner by the government agencies. Then 100% finance is basically the government should give them 100% finance so that they can go and the government should fund the women by providing short-term and long-term loans, so that it becomes very easy for the women to establish themselves and to start off their own business. Then you have your traits is nothing but your characteristics. Okay, characteristics, that is, women are ambitious, women are confident, then women is open and willing to learn, women are cost conscious, women values cooperation and okay, women can balance home from work. These are the various traits or the characteristics. Then you have your challenges of entrepreneur at large. That is the courage to start our own business. That is, not every individual will have the courage to start their own business. Everyone will be hesitating because of their family background or the capital formation or everything as such. Then raising capital money is one of the biggest challenge, because not everyone will belong to a high background or a rich background, and not everyone would be willing to take necessary amount of risk. Okay, then you have your hiring right talent. Even if you are starting your own particular job, you do not, whether you are able to recognize the right person for the right job and you require the right talent or not, that is also one of the problems which are faced. Okay, then adapting to modern technology. They would not know how to use the technology when the technology is changing after another. They need to be very flexible enough in order to adapt to the changing technology and continuously be updated with the use of the technology. Then social challenges is nothing but your family challenges, your family ties. Technological challenges, as we discussed in the earlier point. Teaming challenges, as that is the hiring of the right talent and how you are going to form teams in order to work effectively. Motivation and dedication. Yeah, these are the various challenges which are faced by the entrepreneurs at large. Then you have another topic which is competence, a requirement for entrepreneurs. This topic is up to you if you would want to refer and know in entrepreneurship at large. So we have come to an end with your fourth chapter, that is introduction of entrepreneurship. I would like you all to review the questions and go through the particular questions for yourself. Chapter 5 is for your presentation. Thank you so much.